Well, over the next few days leading up to the first debate on November 9th, we'll be speaking with those vying for the top job in the Conservative Party. Joining us today is Ontario MP Kellie Leitch. Welcome to Your Morning.
Thanks for having me.
You were the first to declare your desire for leadership, and your proposal to screen for anti-Canadian values seems to have set the tone for all the conversation since. Help me to understand, who is it, or what value specifically is it that you want to keep out of the country?
Well, look, what I'm doing is out introducing myself to Canadians and to our members of our party. And for me, we have as a nation a unique Canadian identity. And when I say that, I say shared values. So equality of opportunity, generosity, hard work, freedom, tolerance. Those are the values that have built this country. And so what I'm talking about is making sure that we're screening individuals coming into the country with those values. And one of the things that I've heard is a concern of Canadians as I've traveled across the country has been that not everyone's getting a face-to-face interview. In fact, only 1 in 5, potentially as few as 1 in 10 individuals receive that face-to-face interview from an immigration officer on coming into the country. Many Canadians didn't know that, and they're concerned about it. And I think that's something we need to focus on.
What's the concern and what's the tolerance then that we're focusing on? Is it about security? Is it about women's rights? Is it about same-sex rights?
Well, you know, right now we do screen for security. We ask questions about health. But as I've said before, I don't think it's a stretch to ask about whether or not you believe in the equality of women. You know, in this country, we respect each other's religions. We respect that you can have a different sexual orientation. But violence, misogyny, those things aren't Canadian values. And I think individuals should be receiving face-to-face interviews, as they have in the past, from immigration officers, so that they have an understanding of coming into the country, how to be integrated, but also so that we as Canadians know who's coming into the country.
In those conversations with Canadians, you're also taking a look at leading a party. And within members of your own party who are also vying for leadership, we hear, concerns about niqab, which is about freedom of religion. We hear about revisiting same-sex marriage, which would touch on same-sex rights. So how do you vie for leadership then, or how do you screen to keep those values out of the country when some of those values are being expressed by members of your own party?
Look, I think that what Stephen Blaney's talking about has gone too far. You know, individuals, I think, if they're taking the oath of citizenship, should be expected to show their identity, but in a private place, with an individual privately. You know, what I'm not talking about is making sure that, individuals can wear what they want to work. You know, I'm concerned that Stephen, as I say, has gone a little too far with respect to saying that the public service and others should be dressed in a certain way. For me,
what about Brad Truss wanting to revisit same-sex marriage?
Well, look, we here in Canada, I think what's great about this country is that we have conversations, and we do have differences. We have those openly. But we don't also foist our opinions upon others, and we don't, in this country, you don't get to foist your opinion upon each other. We have a free, open dialogue that's tolerant, and they're resolved peacefully. And so, I'm delighted that in our party, we made a choice in May to move forward to support same-sex marriage, and that we had a free, open dialogue that was peaceful in getting to that resolution. And so for myself, as I said, I think respect for other religions, respect for other sexual orientations is a Canadian value. And for those that are coming into the country, the most important thing, as I say, are the face-to-face interviews.
All right, so on your suggestions then for immigration screening, I had a chance to speak with former Prime Minister and former leader Brian Mulroney last week. Here's his thoughts on the leadership race and specifically about the area of immigration. And I'll get your thoughts after this. Have a listen.
We should be welcoming to all immigrants and make life easy for them when they get here so that they become the tremendous contributors that they are. Anybody who forgets that is not going to be Prime Minister of Canada. This country will not accept someone as its leader who doesn't articulate that kind of a view.
What's your response?
Oh, I completely agree with the former Prime Minister. And I had a good opportunity to speak with him last week. Our country was built by immigrants, and I'm pro-immigration. I think that that's how we move forward as a nation. You know, the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act speaks specifically to this. It speaks to nation building. And nation building, as the former Prime Minister is alluding to, is about the social, economic, and cultural fabric of our country. And so, as I say, I agree with the former Prime Minister. We have a nation that's been built on by immigrants, but those are immigrants that have had a shared value set. And that shared value set, as I say, I think is really grounded in equality of opportunity, generosity, hard work, that's the Canadian way, but also freedom and tolerance, which allows us to be our best selves.
All right, I want to thank you for coming in today as part of these ongoing conversations with leadership candidates. Thanks for being here on Your Morning.
Thank you.